President Cyril Ramaphosa hosts his German counterpart Angel Merkel today to strengthen ties between the two countries. The two leaders are expected to discuss issues of trade, migration and international matters. Gloria Safakomusi has the details. All right, let's cross to our political editor, Angel Merkel, who is with us now. A very good morning to you, Mzwai. Take us through today's proceedings. We do know that the main topic, of course, is that of trade. What more do you have for us, Mzwai?
Well, the President will be hosting the German Chancellor. They will be speaking about a number of issues here at the Union buildings. Remember, the President of South Africa, President Ramaphosa, will be taking over chairpersonship of the AU later this month, yes, correct. And it's also interesting that later this year, the German Chancellor will also be taking over the chairpersonship of the EU. So you can see that kind of coincidence is making it possible for them to be able to discuss about a number of issues that affect these countries, particularly with the issue of Brexit having happened. I mean, Germany is the Europe's largest economy and very, very key in how European politics plays out. So it's very important for a country like Germany to keep tabs with South Africa, to really understand what is it that can be mutually beneficial. And of course, the President of South Africa would also want to use this opportunity to explore the opportunities in the wake of UK leaving EU. So what sort of new agreements will be reached? So what are other economic opportunities that will be taken? So it's quite an interesting visit, the official visit by Chancellor Merkel. And you'd remember it comes in after the state visit by the President of Germany sometime in 2018. So we already have a number of bilaterals between the two, and of course the number of German businesses doing work here in South Africa is quite huge. I mean, 600 of them. And then the trade between the two, it's around 235 billion rand. And you can see that these countries really have strong relations. So they would want to really develop that kind of relation. So after this official visit by Chancellor Merkel, so there will be a business forum. So where businesses from Germany and businesses from South Africa will sit down and thresh out further economic opportunities between these two countries. And then after that, the two leaders will proceed to Roslyn, where they will launch a BMW, which really shows that the relations is really being taken further. So this is an important visit by the world's fourth largest economy to Africa's most industrialized economy. So you can see that if these are able to work together and the issues really that affect both of them, remember the issue also of migration. I think South Africa will need to learn a lot more from Germany how they treat their migration. Yes, we know the reason why perhaps currently the ruling party in Germany is not so popular is because of migration. But Angela Merkel was one of those leaders who was really able to deal with this serious issue of migration. And South Africa, having been faced with those difficulties in the past, particularly the xenophobic attacks, how to handle the refugees. So I think they will also exchange notes there, so how to deal with issues around that nature. So yes, this visit will be quite crucial for both countries and also for both continents, that is Europe and Africa. As I mentioned earlier, that South Africa is taking over the chairpersonship of the AU later this month. And of course, later this year in July, Germany is taking over the chairpersonship of the EU.
Thank you so very much for that. That's Angel Merkel outside the Union buildings, of course, where President Cyril Ramaphosa is to host German Chancellor Angela Merkel today. Of course, we got that full update from Mzwai talking about the fact that indirectly South Africa may be benefiting from Brexit as those talks to strengthen ties between South Africa and Germany take place today. And interestingly, of course, another issue that will be very high on the agenda is that of migration, which is usually certainly a critical issue when the German Chancellor visits Africa. And also on the agenda is that of business, and one I find quite interesting, of course, is the anti-corruption reforms, which are also part of the conversations that will be taking place then between President Cyril Ramaphosa and Angela Merkel. No doubt the latest shows on SABC will be keeping you updated on those talks, and we, of course, at SABC will be giving you all that footage and crossing back and forth to the union buildings.